Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Planescape Torment. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that he chose to join me today as we talk over here to Gizzes yet again, and ask him about questions, ask him questions about the Blood War. So Morte doesn't want to hear this, but yeah, we're just gonna keep listening, because at the end, we can ask some questions. Keep listening. Yeah, because we heard all of this before. He's just filled with things. So, that's an again. Can't you get me a little bit bored? Yeah, he didn't tell too much about the Blood War. So what started, that's when demons just saw each other. How'd you get hired? Did I ask that? How does one get hired? Oh no, I did. Where is the Blood War fought? Or where is the Blood War fought, I should say, because it's my character. Plenty of places, usually the lower plains. Anywhere along the river Styx, the 9 layers of Bator, the 4 furnaces of Gehenna, the Grey Waste, cold red Carcetti, the prison plane, and the piking near endless well of evil, that's the abyss. Somehow the Grey Waste sounds familiar to you. Yes, it does. Tell me about the Grey Wastes. Oh, tell me about the Grey Waste, that was my character. Also called the Glooms, he says. He shrugs, then shivers as if by reflex. Grey is in every sense of the word. Colors burn your eyes there. They shout, they are too loud, and your dreams are pulled to the surface and poured on the ground, lost forever. Only the night hags rule there, the Grey Ladies of the Waste. I really don't like all these apostrophes over here. It's not apostrophes, actually, it's the inverted commas. Is it apostrophes? What's the name of that? I think so. It is an apostrophe. Yeah, I don't like that at all. It makes it really, really hard to read this thing. And it doesn't really add anything to the character. It's just, what's the difference between the and the? What? It's like, what? Shut up. Okay, so, let's see. How does one survive the Blood War? You want to know how to survive the Blood War? 3 things, Cutter. And he holds up a maimed hand with only 2 fingers. Oh boy, okay. First off, you stay the pike out of it. Secondly, keep yourself the piking elves out of it. And lastly, you stay the bloody piking sod pike out of it. If any part of the war rolls your way, let your imagination give your bum a kick and run as far and fast as you can. If you can't run, then lie really still and pray it passes you by. He pauses for a moment. Except there's no place it doesn't touch you, and there's almost nowhere you can run to get away from it. Yeah, so if there's nowhere to run, why aren't there fiends fighting in Sigil? Ah, now, Cutter, look. They have fought here a few times. Sometimes we get a little spillover from the Blood Wars. And Our Lady of Pain, bless her still-ridden heart, puts out the fires. Some of the time, anyway, he sneers. There's been times, some horrifying drizzle on yourself, you're so sodding scared times, when they've smashed and burnt and clawed their way through the whole sodding city blocks in Sigil before she decides to clean the house. He clucks his tongue and winks cynically. She ain't always as keen on stopping the Blood War as it might seem, see? Why don't the fiends just take Sigil? I mean, if they can come over here, that's a good point. He laughs, but he turns into a sputtering cough. And don't get me wrong now, both the Tenari and the Batezu want Sigil fiercely. This is the most precious staging ground in the piking universe, or multiverse. The cage is the city of doors, and connects everywhere. You can't ignore it, and if you're serving in the Blood War and want to win, you gotta have it. The man coughs again. It is just the fiends aren't going to get it while the lady is in charge, it's all. She's tough as nails. Her blades will cut you deeper than any fiend's fangs. And that knots the fiend's stems like you wouldn't believe. One quiet lady, her hands tucked in her sleeves, holding back in the Blood War all by herself. And he laughs bitterly. I do apologize, it's tricky for me to read all that, to understand what is even here, because I need to convert so many things at the same time. For me, as a non-speaker, as a non-native speaker. Yeah, but fiends are still allowed in Sigil? Oh, damnably certain! They can't brawl in the streets too much, so as neutral ground, Sigil allows them to rattle their bone boxes without trying to murder each other. Sometimes they'll chat it up with each other here. They'll chat it up, yeah. The peace doesn't stay that way for long, though. Also, just because they can't butcher each other in the streets doesn't mean spies, recruitment, and backstabbing doesn't still go on here. They fight battles with lies and words, Burke. Sometimes it's all in the bluster and blather. And there's safe houses about too. Places where they can cool their talons before the next skirmish. And they like to recruit here too, looking for boys fresh off the plains with a little green in their hearts that they can make part of their glorious army. He stops speaking to peer closely at you. Mayhap they recruited you once, eh, Cutter? You look like you've tasted the war. Perhaps. The war leaves a scar on you, Cutter. You'd know. And you'd know if you'd ever want to go back. Your temples begin to throb painfully as you consider the man's words. A memory begins to surface. Okay, let's try and remember that. The lecture hall begins to fade from view as terrible visions begin to seep up from the base of your mind. Visions of a place where seasons are nothing like you've ever felt, or heard, or tried to shut out. A place where prayers go unheard, falling like stones to the earth. Vein-colored lightning flashes across things that were once sky, but now boil beneath your feet and scream when you brush against them. You run at the head of a large band of men, passing through dark canyons where the walls quiver moistly and beat like a heart, wearing only your own blood as clothing. At last you stand in a place where the ashen gray terrain slithers like a mass of snakes, coiling around your ankles and whispering your evil to the earth. You march endlessly, silently, through this colorless land, where fatigue seems to live and hunt you like a shade over the wastes, whipping you with despair. In time, you and the ragged men who follow you come upon a hag sitting upon a mound of gigantic writhing larvae, poking at one of the slime-covered things with a broken talon. You indicate for one of the men to run forward and speak with her. The hag's grating voice carries to your ears. "I would speak with him," she says. Or she said, then cackled. Her eyes gleam as she points you out to the man. "The handsome one that leads your ragged column. I would speak with him." And that is all you can recall. Cutter, you feeling alright there? Yeah, I'm fine. So, do fiends recruit often? He nods grimly. "You can be sure of that," he says. "Sigil is the best source of fodder on the plains. Beats milking planets of all their prime inhabitants. Too much work. So, any more advice on surviving the war?" "Aye, whatever you do, don't talk about the blood war with any fiend, or any diva, or archon for that matter. Just don't talk about it, period, because you never know who in the hells you're really chatting with. And all of them get mighty touchy when you bring up the war. It's their reason for living." "Okay, anything else?" He nods. "Yeah, don't go through any portal unless you're piking sure you know where it goes. Maybe you haven't heard tales of clueless planewalkers stepping through a portal and ending up smack dab in the middle of a blood war skirmish. Know why you haven't heard of them? Because those souls are dead. Dead. Just dead. Okay. And whatever you do, never sign on for a tour of duty, no matter how much jinx they flash in your mug. Certain death and singing on for a... What? No. Certain death and signing on for a tour in the Blood War are the same thing, Cutter." "Why is that?" "Chances are when you sign up, they peel you, so your tour of the duty is till time itself grinds it to a halt. They peel you? What's that? That's a... Anyway. Even death wouldn't be a release, because then you sink into the lower planes and get dredged back up as something worse than you were before. Then they got their talons on you for all eternity." How would you get out of a tour contract?" "Unless they don't want you, you don't have much chance. I never heard of it being done with mean-spirited recruits or somebody they really wanted to keep their talons on. Outwitting a Tenari is risky, but can be done. The Batus are much more dangerous with their contracts. You sign one of those, you're damned for life." "Okay." "You might try a little garnish, try and daub them, and they might let you make a run for it. But where would you go? There's so many hells. And dying in the Blood War would be an especially bad thing. If you were evil, sure. If you're good, you'd go to another plane to spend your afterlife. But you'd still be a debtor. I mean, now for me, I still got a lot of evil to wash from my soul. So if I died in the lower planes, they would have had me lock, stock, and barrel." You go to another plane when you die? Can you explain that?" "Yeah, go talk to that other dead lecturer if you want the dark on that. I can't explain it as well as he, though he's twice the fool and might scald you with the hot hair roaring from his mouth." Okay. So that's that. I think there was a few lines over there that I didn't ask. So I can ask this one, and I can ask him to go on. Anything else? If there's nowhere to run, why aren't the field? Yeah. Okay. Anything else? And then anything else? Oh, I asked. Okay, it doesn't matter. It probably was just more questions that lead over here. So describe the Tenari. The man nods. The Tenari pay better than Batazu, but you need to be 2 or 3-faced and have a bunch of ice sprinkled all over your body, because you can't ever turn your back on them. They're chaos, the ones with whim and whimsy in their hearts. Trust or upholding their word aren't high on their list. He sniffs, then shrugs. They don't care what happens, so long as something happens and it's evil. Mostly they attack the Batazu to keep from killing each other. Yeah, that sounds perfect. How about the Batazu? The man nods. They don't usually pay as much as the Tenari, but they don't break their written word. They're smart, though. Several hundredfold smarter, and they may be making contracts since time began. They know how to peel someone with words. They do. Sign. Oh, I think peel is just slang for just scam, I should say. Anyway. Sign, and most likely you'll be peeled and hanged to dry in their legions. Well, maybe it's not. Or maybe at least that one is not. They plan like bastards. They put more thought and preparation to a single strategic skirmish than most human armies devote to an entire campaign. And he sniffs and scratches at his chin. They usually assemble their forces on Avernus, the first layer of Baator. What's Avernus like? Avernus? The man grimaces as if recalling the place caused physical anguish. It's inhabited by the damned and those that prey on the damned. The red flecked lands of noxious sands and blistering fires that scream across the plains or the landscape. That was my taste of Baator, the lair of Avernus. Terrible place. What sort of forces serve in the Blood War? All sorts, aside from various mortal burks from across the plains. Abishai and Cornugons, Lemures and Nuperibo, Sukubi. The list goes on and on. Okay, tell me about the Abishai. They're the grunts in most Batazu armies. There are different sorts, black-scaled ones being the weakest and most common. That's interesting. Okay. How about the Cornugons? Cornugons are dead hard, Cutter. It's rare to see more than a few of them together, though sometimes they form bands of elite troops. Usually they lead lesser forces like Abishai and mortal mercenaries into battle. What about the Lemures? Lemures are these things that look like melted people. Annoying little sods that regenerate even as you're killing them. They're oblivious to danger or pain, and so will never run away from a fight. Mostly good for dying on the front lines and not much else. Okay. How about the Nuperibo? Fat little bikers that have these tiny heads. Deaf, dumb, and blind. They exist to die in the front line. Hard to kill too. Even the most wee bit of them will grow back to a wall 1 if you let it. Okay. How about the Sukubi? Tenari. Lovely, but dead evil they are. They seduce mortals and try and drag them into the abyss. More petitioners, more fodder for the war. Okay, I suppose that makes sense. You'll tell us no tales of the Blood War? Alright, one. Let me give you an example of what meat means to them. They'll get some mean-spirited mortal mercenaries together, maybe a drop of a few million strong, and let them slaughter each other for no real reason at all. A pointless battle over some power's forsaken piece of land. Guess where all those souls go? Where? Their souls sink into the plains of evil they fight on, where they can be ripped and the soup of the plains and set... What? Oh, reaped from the soup of the plains and set to fight again as lemures or manes or whatever the Vikings saw those little fiendish dung heaps become. The more of those sodding petitioners they get, the more troops they have. Well, I suppose. Can't you give me a little bit more about the Blood War itself? If I were to boil it down, it'd be these. The Blood War's been going on damn near forever, and will keep going on until damn near forever itself gets penned in the dead book. The Tenari, the champions of chaos and evil, are trying to stomp the green-colored dung out of the Batazu, the champions of law and evil. They butcher each other over how each of them thinks evil should be. If you can believe that. Yeah, so, what do you think would happen if someone stopped the Blood War? You can't make any piking difference in the war. It's too sodding big. You're a stone, a pebble in an ocean that's the pebble in another ocean, which is a pebble in another ocean, and so on and so forth, till the stench cows come home. Yeah. As a pebble, your goal is to not be noticed and sink to the bottom with the rest of the dregs. If you could make a difference, which you can't, you shouldn't try, because then the planes would tumble on down. What? The planes would tumble down? Why? He holds up his hand like pillars. The blood war is like a big, bloody support beam propping up the planes. Kick it down, and a lot of the planes come tumbling down with it. A lot of baggage rests on the back of the boar. He suddenly brays like a donkey, laughing bitterly. The biggest, nastiest pack animal on the plains. The war. That's interesting. I can see that being the case. I think it's kind of tricky though, but I think I see what he means. Go on. He grins cynically. Besides, as some say, war's great for business. He laughs hollowly, then looks as if he could suddenly cry. Hey, never you mind that. Another question? Are you alright? You seem pained. The man smiles sadly. Aye. Listen, Cutter, I'm no priest, nor would I want to be one, but hear this. Keep evil out of your heart. When you die with evil in your heart, your spirit falls into the lower planes, where you become a petitioner. Okay. Any guesses as to what happens then? Petitioners in the abyss and Bator get twisted into foot soldiers, and get to fight in the blood war for all eternity. So that's another explanation as to why it's just such a big support beam right there as well. He chuckles, shaking his head. So that's the dark as to why the Batizu and Tenari try and corrupt all they touch, because they need more troops. Hit this, keep evil far from your heart, Burke. Okay. So, okay, well that's that. No questions, really. Okay, so he goes back to what he was saying before, yes. So it's interesting, because evil... So they recruit different sorts of evil, chaotic and lawful, based on, you know, who you are, or your alignment. So that's interesting immediately. It seems to me that society as a whole, from the time of, the time of trouble, I think, here in Dungeons & Dragons, I think it's been walking towards lawful, or maybe it's not, I don't know, but I get the impression that it has been walking towards lawful. So maybe the Tenari? Or is it the Batizu? The lawful evil ones, anyway, are winning the war, or gonna win the war or something? I don't know. Yeah. Let's have a chat with this barrier. I don't think he's gonna say anything, but yeah. This person is practicing various combat maneuvers on a wooden training dummy. They seem far too busy to speak with you at the moment. Okay, we have a bunch of warriors in training. What is those things? This rack of wooden sparring weapons holds nothing of interest to you. Well, get one. Get a sparring weapon. Although, I'm pretty sure they didn't train with... Well, did they use wooden swords for sparring? I'm pretty sure they didn't. Because the problem with wooden swords is that you had to have it's not... The only way to make a wooden sword actually work as a sparring weapon is if you make it lead inside, which is good for balance because you just can put the lead where you want it. But the sword needs to have the same weight as a normal sword, so that's a big trouble. That's a big amount of trouble there. The best way is to just make a sword and make it a sparring sword. There's actually historical sparring swords that look completely different from normal swords. Usually you could just blunt it and just that's as simple as that. And then you hammer it and just grind it and do all the stuff that needs to be done to sharpen a sword. But there's actually, I think it's called the Fenterswert or something like that. It's a German thing. It's a weird sword. It looks like a rapier, but it has like a weird guard at the bottom, and it's just a special sword, basically meant for sparring. Pretty interesting. This dummy is adorned with pockets, purses, pouches, and dozens of tiny bells. Oh. That's interesting. Somehow that doesn't sound like a very good training at all. Yeah, that's not good training. So, if you're a prospective thief, you want, and this is a role-playing thing, of course, if you're a prospective thief, the best thing is not to actually be able to pickpocket without the person noticing you. It's the art of thieving is more about deception, about the sleight of hand bit is very important, but that's closer to a magician or to an illusionist anyway. That's what illusionists do. It's just sleight of hand and just being very agile with your hands. That's very important. But a good thief is the one that just can you know, divert somebody's attention elsewhere just because they could be very pretty, or they could be saying shouty things, or they could be looking somewhere, or just using their other hand to make something that is like a fake thing. And that's how thieving works. So if you're being stolen from, or if you know somebody is trying to steal from you, because usually this, you know something is wrong, focus on what is not expected. Don't focus on the obvious, because that's never gonna be it. If they're going for you with a left hand, look at their right hand, because that's what they're gonna use to steal from you. Anyway, we need to talk to people over here. We have the room clerk over here. I'm hopefully gonna be able to convince her that I'm part of the Sensates, but I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna be able to do that. But let's see. The attractive young woman smiles pleasantly. Something I might help you with, sir. How would I get into one of these rooms? You'd have to be a member of the Society of Sensations, sir. Approved by Splinter. He's just inside the entrance of the fest hall. If you'd speak with him. Could I rest here, though? The Civic Fest Hall often rents out any unused chambers by the evening. You could certainly rest there, should one be available. Should I check for you, sir? Yes, please do. Oh! This game also has this. And it's cheap! Why is it all so cheap? Please make it very expensive, because there's no reason not to do this. Yeah, I am sure I want to rest. There it is, fully healed. Because that's what happens when you rest in the proper place. Which is good. It's great. Okay, so I can't go into those rooms because... What is this? A front desk like a fine inn might have. Yeah, this is a fine inn. Let's see if I can get in. I can indeed. Unfulfilled Desire is her name. Why? What desire? A large ornate bathing tub. Maybe she wants to take a bath and they didn't bring water. An oil painting of a young woman. The subject of this portrait is only vaguely humanoid. Sure. It's just a head, so I suppose, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so, let's have a chat with the Unfulfilled Desire over here. The woman before you is incredibly attractive. There's some intangible aura about her that makes you want to speak to her. As you step up to her, she glances at you coyly, then she gives a knowing smile. I wonder if she's a succubus. A succubus. I always have trouble pronouncing that word, I'm sorry. Greetings. You want something, yes? She hisses the yes, drawing it out slowly, sensually, from between her teeth. I can help. Name your desire, and I shall provide it. Oh, can I love the fest hall, says Morty. Can I just name any desire? Apparently I can. The woman ignores Morty, her eyes locked with yours. She smiles, awaiting your response. Okay, so I can... What do you have that I might want? Let's ask that, because that seems to be the best one to ask. All that you might want lies within my reach. What little I do not possess, I can obtain. Speak your desire. I don't know what she's gonna want from me, because I'm pretty sure she's gonna want something from me, and I couldn't ask about that. But yeah, there is something I want. I want my memories returned. All of them. She smiles. Much may be forgotten in a lifetime, and much more in several lifetimes. I can help you. Okay, so she's probably a scammer. She's probably a scammer here. I asked that on purpose because, well, that's what I want, but that's also something I'm pretty sure she won't be able to get me. She studies your face closely. Explain to me the ways in which you want these memories. Speak to me your craving, and I shall speak to you the price. What proof do you have that you could return them to me? She doesn't seem to move, but suddenly her hand is touching your forehead, a finger dragging along your temple. Only this. You feel as if the fog in your head has been peeled away briefly, enough to catch a glimpse of remembrance. But before you can focus on the memory, the fog rolls back in. Only this. Only tell me why you desire it. Speak to me your craving, and I shall speak to you the price. I want them back. Is that not enough? Her smile hardens. What, how do... Oh, she loses it? Yeah. You must give your desire voice and emotion, or it is as dust to me. You must convince me that you truly desire what I can impart, or it shall not be yours. Okay, I'm gonna fall for it, but I'm really curious, because I'm really curious to see what's going on. I'm gonna describe the way in which I want my memories back. As you speak, her smile fades. and she leans forward attentively, her eyes ravaging your features as you speak. Her presence compels you to speak more than you normally would, and after a few moments, her eyes flutter closed as she gives a sharp intake of breath. Suddenly, the desire for your memories begins to wane. Your want slowly drains out of you, leaving only a cold emptiness in its wake. She opens her eyes again as you stop speaking. What is wrong, traveler? Do you no longer want your memories returned to you? No. I mean, yes. What have you done to me? She seems perplexed. Whatever do you mean? Despite her innocent demeanor, you're certain something unnatural has occurred. She has somehow siphoned off some part of your desire, stolen it away from for some ghastly collection of wants, or perhaps to feed upon. Had you finished speaking of your desire, you're certain it would have been lost forever to you. Come now, is there something else you want then? Tell me of it. Oh, this is a really powerful thing. I want to eat unhealthy food. Oh, no I don't! This is a really powerful thing. Unfortunately, I can't use her to my advantage. So this is just... It mattered nothing, because I didn't... It mattered nothing. That's good, that's good. Yeah, I best not. Farewell. Unfulfilled desire. It's a really weird character here. Can I wanna... Yeah. I don't think I... That's a shame, actually. That's a shame. That's a real shame. I kind of wanted to lose some other desire. I don't remember what the other desire was. Or I remember the one I want you, but I didn't read the other ones too well. Okay, so this is locked. Bash failed. Which probably means... Oh. It doesn't mean anything.
I'm gone.
What?
Failed.
Yeah, what I said it probably means was because only my character said that, and I think that has happened before, where it happens only if it's a special thing. Anyway, we're gonna need to look at these things.
Done.
Let's see what it is. Some money. Oh, come on.
I'm gone.
Yeah, let's see what we have. Some money. Okay, a couple of good things. Nothing over there. These are not locked, so I suppose that's natural. Oh, you can't get there? There we go. A handkerchief. Don't need that. We have plenty of them. And nothing. Okay. Well, let's continue exploring this place in the next episode. For now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Planescape Torment. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video, but above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye!